Hello, it's Matt, the Vinyl Minimalist. In today's video, I'd like to explain to you my complicated relation to new records, especially new represses of old records. And as an example, I will talk about this record, Shaolin Soul, which is a compilation of soul. I'm not really into soul, but I want to have a few soul records, and this one is really good actually. But it's new and you can really feel it. So basically, when I started collecting seriously, that was in around 2008 or 2009. That was just before collecting records became really big, and I observed the growth of the number of the record collectors, and to me, the new record collectors, of course, everyone coming after me, these were the hipsters only getting records because it was so cool, and yeah, many of them would get new records, new prints. I would only buy second hand. I'm trying to remember now when I bought my first new record, and I think this was it. Guess so. Which was a few years ago, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. Yeah, and every time also when I was looking for new records in the crates, going through all the crates, when you find a new record, for me new is basically everything starting the early 2000s or maybe even late 1990s. You feel it's new, it's just so different because throughout the 1980s, 1990s and early 2000s, all the facilities producing records, they went bankrupt or were closed or whatever. So nowadays they do records in different ways, and you feel it. It's kind of plasticky, it's fake. So you buy a record and it just doesn't feel right. And that's what I don't like about new record. It just doesn't feel right. It feels like it was supposed to be on a CD. Quite often, for example, the cover art, the photo is of bad quality because it was made bigger. And the original photo was to be meant for a CD, a much smaller format. So when you make it bigger, you see suddenly it's not a good quality. This is not the case with this one. I mean, this is an old picture. You can see it's an old photograph from maybe the 1970s, taken not digitally, so it works actually quite well. But on many of the new reissues, I see already the cover art quite problematic. And what really puts me off, what I really don't like, are the barcodes. They're just so ugly, and I don't understand why they don't put stickers, barcode stickers, on the shrink of the albums. I just don't understand, because I really find this makes it just so ugly. I really don't like it. And unfortunately, even the new high quality reissues, some of them have barcodes. For example, the Blue Note Tone Poet series, they have barcodes. If they didn't, I probably would have bought already a few of them, but they do. So I'm still kind of struggling. I don't know, even though I know they're well made, I don't like barcodes. Okay, that's just one of the things. Then when you can, no, one more thing. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but the edge on the open side of the sleeve is not straight. You've got these little bumps where you see it was perforated. It was not cut. Not the whole edge was cut. It was only perforated. And then you've got these little paper dots, the connections to the other piece of paper that used to be attached to this one. And you understand, okay, the company that produced the sleeve is a company producing packaging. They produce boxes. They do not produce record sleeves. They produce boxes, just any boxes of any dimensions probably, and they ask them to produce a record sleeve. And they produce it, and it's a box. It's not a record sleeve. It's also quite flimsy. You know, when you get the things out, it's quite flimsy. You know, it's really thin cardboard, and as a result, here the corner was bent before I actually bought it, and that's what happens quite often. So let's have a look at what's inside. So inside you find 2 records, and this is also what puts me off, and I've got several of these new editions where you have 2 records in just one empty sleeve. For me, if you issue 2 records, you need a fold out sleeve. But that's too expensive to produce, isn't it? Well, unfortunately, it probably is. Well, I hope then that in the upcoming years, there will be more and more record collectors. And I mean, right now, records are becoming a mainstream medium, fortunately. I think it's great. We are also getting better quality packaging. Yeah. Okay, so no fold-out card. That's quite bad. So you've got the 2 records, okay, and a third one, a CD. I don't want a CD. It's like as if they wanted to remind you this was not supposed to be on records. You're supposed to listen to this music on a CD. Well, I don't want to. I don't listen to CDs. I don't even have a CD player. I mean, I can listen to CDs on my computer, but yeah, that's a different story. So I don't need it. I actually want to get rid of it. If you want it, you can have it. Or maybe I could give it to my neighbor. He is a big Soul fan, so maybe he could appreciate it. I don't know what to do with it. Okay. And then you've got the records, and the record, you see the sleeves? The sleeve is just plain paper. It's just plain normal paper. That's the paper on which you write your letter. I mean, you don't write, no, very few people write letters, but you print out the letters. That's this quality, this paper quality, just normal paper with a hole in the middle. You can just throw it away, and you need to buy some decent inner sleeves. I have to do that for this album, for this record. So I will do it shortly. Okay, so let's get to the record. Of course, the record is like really sturdy, heavy, 180 gram. Well, this one is not. This one is not. But you know, we all know these editions, like 180 gram vinyl, and it might be sourced from a digital source, whatever. So yeah, this one it's actually okay. It's 180. At the same time, it's not really flimsy. They did a good job actually regarding the record strength. The labels, you see, they are modern. For me, these are CD labels. I just realized the record doesn't have the catalog number. It's got no catalog number. It's just none. There is none. Okay, I wanted to check if there is something in the dead wax. That there is something. There is a code. So okay, there is. They put something in that. But yeah, this for me. This is a CD packaging, CD label, not record label. Which okay, I can live with that. But it's just. Again, it's a piece of this record charm of the record that gets lost in the whole process, and that's a pity, in my opinion. Yeah. So, what about the sound quality? Well, that's another quite a major problem with some of these records, and it's fortunately I've got the impression it's more and more records that have really good sound quality, or at least a decent sound quality. They might be sourced from a digital source, but there are also digital sources that have decent sound quality. Here, well, this is a compilation, so okay, that's something different. Many different songs, and some of them have really good quality, well, sound quality. Some of them not so good. I mean, the quality is really poor, but I guess this is because maybe some of the songs are really hard to get to, probably impossible to get the master tapes and all that stuff. So yeah, that's a different case. But yeah, you've got plenty of these records that just kind of CDs put on vinyl, and you just keep losing the quality of the sound with every conversion. So you have to know the quality of the record before you buy it, and that's also kind of not cool. Yeah, and also here, for some reason, there's one song missing. There is, I don't know if it's another edition of this record as an LP, as a vinyl, or another edition as a CD, but there's one song missing because they didn't get the rights or whatever. I don't know. So this is another thing. Quite often you've got an album and it is issued as a CD, and then they put it on a record, on a vinyl record, and it misses one song because they had, I don't know, like the CD, there was not enough space on the record, whatever. That's kind of a pity. Okay, but these are the issues of new albums, but you also have the new issues of the old albums. And when I get such a record, I just have the impression it does not feel right. It's not the real stuff, the real deal. So I'm working on it because I know nowadays there are some really good companies that care about good sound and about nice presentation, and thankfully there is the channel 45 RPM audiophile that I have mentioned. I'm mentioning like in every video now, almost. But it's really Michael, he really has quite a big influence on me, because I finally realized that vinyl has become a mass medium, and it will become a mass medium even more. So maybe in 20 years it will be a lot more people listening to vinyl, and that's great, because now we have these reissues that are high quality reissues, and they just still kind of do not really feel right to me, but it's a huge progress compared to these reissues. Okay, so let me know what you think about it, because I believe I'm not alone kind of refusing the new records. At the same time, I know that in the future it will be more and more difficult to get the originals or the early represses, so getting new records is actually inevitable. So I'd like to know what you think about it. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.